first of all, what is the meaning of translation process? Translation means if you want to convert one language into another form, then it is called as a translation. And for this translation process, we need translator. So here we have to talk about our different computer languages and the translators which are used for these languages. So in last video we have learned three different types of languages. First is a machine language, second is a assembly language, and third is a high level language. So for these languages we need some translators. So we are going to discuss about three translators today. First is a compiler, second is a interpreter, and third is a assembler. So let us see in detail. First of all, compiler. So what is compiler? Compiler is a program which translates the source code written in a high level language into the machine language. Means here in example you can see that in source language we can see one C++ program file, and C++ is the high level language, right? So by using this compiler we can convert our C++ file into the executable file, or we can say binary file or low level language. Now move to the second translator, and that is interpreter. Interpreter functions same like compiler, that convert our source code written in a high level language into machine language, but line by line. Now you think what will be the difference between these two translators? We will see in detail in next page. Here you can see the example that the file written in a Python code. By using interpreter we can convert this file into machine language. And our last translator is assembler. Assembler is used for converting assembly level language into the machine language. For better understanding, see the example that here in source language the code is in assembly form, or we can say in instruction form, and finally using assembler we will get the code in machine form, that is binary form. So these all are the translators. Now see the difference between interpreter and compiler. So first point is interpreter translate a program one statement at a time, where compilers scan whole source code and translate the whole source code into machine code. So this is the first difference between interpreter and compiler. But interpreter scan one statement at a time, that's why our execution time will be increased in interpreter, where compiler is fast compared to interpreter. In compiler, whole source code scan together, that's why one intermediate file will be generated, and because of this file memory will be waste in compiler, where in interpreter no intermediate file will be generated. Hence interpreters are more memory efficient, and debugging process is faster in interpreter compared to compiler. And which languages are uses interpreters? So Python and Ruby are uses interpreter, where C and C++ languages uses compiler. So this topic is completed. Now moving forward to the next topic, that is problem solving method. You already understand the different types of languages, right? Now suppose I am giving you one program or problem, then you can't directly code it. First you have to think about this problem, that what will be the input of our problem, then what will be the procedure we have to follow for this problem, and what will be the output of this problem, right? So for solving the problem we have two different methods. First is a algorithm and second is a flowchart. Let's see what is algorithm. Algorithm is a finite sequence of well-defined steps for solving problem in a systematic manner. Means we have to write our problem in step-by-step solution. Here you can see in figure that first of all we have to enter input, then process the data, and finally we will get output. And our second method is a flowchart. What is flowchart? Flowchart is nothing but graphical representation of our problem or program. Means we have to use some graphical symbols for making a flowchart. Which symbols we are going to use? So here in this table you can see that first symbol is a oval. Oval represent start and stop. And in every flowchart we have to start from this symbol and stop for this symbol. Then after input and output represent in always a parallelogram symbol. Then rectangle. Rectangle indicates our process, or we can say calculation or expression. And decision making symbol is a diamond. Decision making means condition. When we have a two choice, more than one choice, either our condition will be true or false. In this case we can use the symbol like diamond. Then after arrow. Arrow represent our data flow. And last is a circle. Circle indicates connector. So these are the symbols we have to remember for making any type of flowchart. Now let's see the difference between algorithm and flowchart. So what is algorithm? Algorithm is a finite sequence of well-defined steps of any problem in a systematic manner, where flowchart is nothing but graphical representation. So this is the major difference. Then second point is algorithm is quite bit difficult compared to flowchart, and in algorithm we don't require to use any symbols, where in flowchart as per definition we have to use graphical symbols. So these are the difference between algorithm and flowchart. Now for applying algorithm and flowchart to our problem, first of all let's define different types of problem. So in our programming there are three types of problems are available. First is a simple problem. Simple problem means we have to write the steps in sequence, just follow the steps in a sequence. Then second problem is a conditional problem. Conditional means when we have some condition, then we have two possibilities. Either our condition will be true or false. So that type of problem is called as a conditional problem. And last is a repetition problem. Repetition means the same process we have to follow many times. It is called as a repetition problem. So today we will understand these three types of problem with one simple and easiest day-to-day life example, that making tea. First of all, if you want to make a tea, then what we have to do? First we have to pour water in a pan, right? Then after, what will be the input, means ingredients? We have to add tea powder, sugar in water. Then boil the water, and finally we will add the milk. And after boiling process, we have to filter the tea and serving in a cup. This is the simple process or simple recipe. So this type of problem is called as a simple problem. And how we can write the algorithm? As per the definition of algorithm, we have to write step by step in a systematic manner. So here this is called as a algorithm, that we have write in a step by step. Now how we can write the flowchart of the same problem? We have to use graphical symbols for that. So first step is start, and start is always represent in a oval symbol. Then after, what will our input in this process? Here water, tea powder, sugar, all are the inputs. So inputs always we can write in parallelogram. So here step number 2 and step number 3 we will write in parallelogram. And here in this shape we have to write our whole statements in graphical symbols. Then after, here boiling water is our process, right? So process always represent in a rectangle symbol. And finally, what will be the output? Our tea that we are going to serve in a cup. It will have a output. So output also represent in parallelogram. And our last step is stop. So in this way we can write algorithm or flow chart of any type of problem. Now our second type is a conditional problem. So the same example I am going to explain here by using just modification by adding one condition. That you want a tea, we have to make a tea, but we have a choice that if you want masala tea or plain tea, then we have a two possibility, either we have a masala tea or plain tea. So here in step number 4, I am writing that if we want masala tea, then we have to just follow step number 5. And in step number 5, we have also add masala with our milk. And if you don't want masala tea, then we have to follow just step number 6. And what is the step number 6? We have to just add only milk, not masala. So this type of problem is called as a conditional problem, where we have a more than one possibility. And how we can represent the same problem in graphical form? So first 3 steps are the same, similar as a previous problem, but we have to change in step number 4. And for decision making or condition, we have to use diamond symbol. So here in step number 4, we have to use diamond symbol in flowchart. And we have a 2 possibility, one that condition will be true and condition will be false. So if our condition will true, then we have to follow step number 5. That is, we have to add 2 things. But if we don't want masala tea, then we have to follow step number 6. So always we have 2 paths, one is a true and one is a false. And finally our output is step number 7, that filter a tea and serve in a cup. And last is a stop. Stop represent in oval. So this type of problem is called as a conditional problem. And our last problem is a repetition problem. So the same example here, but the difference is, if you want to make a tea 3 times in a day, then it is called as a repetition problem. Why? Because the same recipe we have to follow but 3 times. So this is called as a repetition. And here in step number 8, you can see the difference in this problem. That while want second time tea, then what we have to do? We have to follow all the steps, step number 2 to step number 7 again. So we have to go again on step number 2. But if you don't want tea second time, then we have to just go to the step number 9. And how we can represent in a flow chart? First, all other steps will be same. But in step number 8, we have to again use diamond symbol. Why? Because here again we have to use conditional symbol. If we want, then again we have to go to step number 2. So if our condition will true, then control goes to the step number 2. Otherwise, we have to just go to stop, or we can say statement number 9. So in this way, we can solve these 3 different types of problems. Hope you understand today's video lecture with different problems and different problem solving methods and different translators. And in next lecture, we are going to discuss about algorithm and flowchart with our technical problems. Today I am explain with our day-to-day life example. But in next video, we are going to discuss about our actual problem solving methods. So if you have any query, then you can contact me anytime. And till then, take care. Bye-bye. See you soon. Thank you.